Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing well and having a good day. By the time you see this video, it will already be past Community Day. So, happy post Community Day. I hope you guys had a fun, relaxing, successful event, whether it be searching for hundos or shinies or grinding. Hopefully you set out what you accomplished to do. Before I get into the gameplay of this video, I just want to take the time to personally thank you guys for taking time out of your day to even check out my video to begin with. This is my first YouTube video, so if I make a mistake here or there, be nice, guys. I'm not looking to be perfect, but at the same time, I am looking to improve. So if you have any constructive criticism or feedback, just drop in the comments below and I'll be more than happy to take a look at it later. I also thought it'd be a good idea to give you guys a brief introduction about who I am. Some of you may know me, some of you may not know me, and that's perfectly fine. My name is Shan Win. I am a Pokemon Go player from Canada, Brampton, Ontario to be specific. I've been playing the game for a little over 2 years. I started playing in August 2018, and I've been pretty much hooked ever since. Prior to Go Battle League, I had less than minimal experience in PvP. I didn't participate in any self-tournaments besides one, but it was due to extenuating circumstances. Besides that one tournament, I had no experience. I didn't PvP with any of my buddies, and, the only times I did battle is I would drop 10 CP mons to interact with friendship. That's it. Ever since GBL though, I've been hooked ever since. Starting from pre-season to up until now, Season 6, I've been ranked 10. I've been ranked 10 on 2 accounts. Chanwin26 is my main account, and Street Kong is my alt account. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to say about me. I'm a pretty boring guy. I'm also a Twitch streamer. I've been streaming Pokemon Go for about a little over 4 months, and the support that I've gotten on there has been nothing short of amazing. So, also, big shout out to the Pokemon Go community. You guys are very accepting, very friendly, and, thank you so much for that. So, the team that I'm showcasing today is a Triple Flyer team. Yes, I know what you're thinking. This guy must be crazy for playing Triple Flyer. But that's part of the beauty of GBL. You can play whatever you want, whenever you want. And I'm not going to say, it's an OP team or you guys should play it because it's so good. But it's a team that I found a lot of consistency with. And the sole function of the team was to counter Grass Hole users. I'm not going to get into the whole Grass Hole discussion on this video, but I will leave a link to Waller's YouTube channel because he is the original Grass Hole user. So definitely check him out. He's a great player and a great dude overall. And if you want the background info on that team, then, just go check out his channel. So the idea behind this team is the fact that I don't think there's anybody or anybody that's able to play this right now at a high consistency like I have. And yes, that is a big claim, but if you were to think to yourself, is there anybody else playing Triple Flyer in Pokemon Go right now at a really high consistent level? I honestly don't think you could say that anyone is right now. So the team that I've been playing up until now is Tropius, Mandibuzz, and Skarmory. This team has worked wonders for me. That may sound like a bit of an exaggeration, but I honestly did not expect to find the consistency that I have found playing this team until I actually played it. So yeah, in order to counter the Grass Hole team, which honestly is really easy to do, the team is really one-dimensional, and in my personal opinion, it has a really low skill ceiling. Like, given enough time, anybody can pick it up, and the strategy behind it is a little linear, if I'm being conservative about it. There are different variations to it, like there are different ways to play it, but overall, it's the same concept. You bait out the hard counter for one of the grass users, and then you have the second one in the back to pretty much roll over the team if they don't have something to punish it. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. So this team, Tropius, Mandibuzz, Skarmory, it is really susceptible to a lot of bad leads. If I get a bad lead, then I have to play ridiculously well in order to come out on top. That being said, if I get a neutral lead or I get a favorable lead, I can honestly just run away with the game. So the gameplay that I'm going to feature today was pulled from my stream, which was a few days ago. My overall score was 23-2, which is pretty impressive if you ask me. Just one win short of matching my all-time record of 24-1, which was back in Season 4, I believe. But yeah, let's just get straight into the video, and you'll see for yourself how I played out. So yeah, first game of the video, Grass Team. I played out the same way all the time, and the way I play it out pretty much varies depending on what the opponent does. But versus the Bastiodon and Tropius matchup, I always shield once, and I get 2 Leaf Blades off. One of the most important things in this matchup is try not to get any extra smackdowns in. Depending on what they do, whether they shield or not shield. Since they shield in this case, I swapped to Mandibuzz right away. And you guys know Mandibuzz is pretty much like a flying Umbreon, so it can take a hit or two. So I take the Stone Edge no problem, and I throw the Foul Play. They shield. So by shielding this Bastiodon at such a low HP, they pretty much telegraph that they have Grass Hole in the back, or they're running the Grass Hole line. There's no reason to preserve a Bastiodon that low. And to nobody's surprise, they have a Victory Bell. So I get the Aerial Ace off. It does a large amount of damage, but it doesn't KO the Victory Bell because it's just a bad move in general. And the beauty of it, they weren't expecting this, were they? A third flyer. Yeah, so Skarmory, third flyer. They quit. So it's pretty obvious they had another grass type in the back, or something extremely weak to flyers because they didn't even bother to play that out. So jumping into the next game, the Shadow Victory Bell in the lead. A little more uncommon, but still relatively the same. So their safe swap is Vigoroth, which is kind of interesting. But whenever I see a Shadow Victory Bell on the team, in my mind, I kind of just assume that they have a Bastiodon or a Stunfisk in the back. They usually need something to cover, their weaknesses, which is obviously a flyer for Victory Bell. Or, a Confusion user. So in this particular situation, even if I lose swap, it's not the end of the world for me because I have 2 responses to Victory Bell. I can't farm this Vigoroth down. So I tried to throw a Sky Attack and I let it go. I honestly didn't think it was worth the shield anyways. Yep, so I come back in with Tropius and just farm it down. They're not going to bring in their Victory Bell, so they're going to bring in their third Pokemon. And in this case, it's a Bastiodon. So I have almost enough for 2 Leaf Blades, which is really good for me. And I'm probably going to pull the shields, which I do in this case. They know that their win condition is getting rid of this flyer. So they're probably going to double shield. And yep, they do, which is understandable. Fortunately for me here, I was really lucky. I got to a third Leaf Blade, which they probably didn't expect to happen. And that chip damage is really crucial for this matchup. And fortunately, I have 2 shields still, so I just shield both of Bastiodon's charge moves. But the beauty of GBL is the fact that it's so unpredictable. So unpredictable. You can play whatever you want, and if you know your win conditions and your win-loss, scenarios, you can play whatever you want, and as long as you understand those conditions, you can still succeed with pretty much whatever you want. I don't think there's anybody in their right mind that would think that I was running triple flyer. And of course, in this case, I need to catch the move, otherwise I would lose. So I sack swap my Tropius, and the game is pretty much over at this point. So the idea behind this team is that the Tropius is one of the few flyers that's versatile, that can almost deal with the Bastion as long as it has Razor Leaf. So the Razor Leaf damage and the chip damage is so imperative, and once I get rid of the Bastion, it's pretty much GG after that point, because the grass types in the back can't deal with any flyers in general. And it's also part of the reason why I've run Flash Cannon on Skarmory. Skarmory having Flash Cannon is just for the Bastion. Another Shadow Victory Bell. So they swap into their safe swap. I just automatically assume that they have a Stunfisk or a Bastion in the back. Unfortunately, in my case, I don't have anything for the Obstagoon specifically, which is why I need to chip it down before I decide to swap out. So I'm preserving the Leaf Blade energy, which is really good, and I catch the Night Slash, which is even better. So it just comes down to what they have in the back. The Victory Bell has no play. They have a Stunfisk, and this game is pretty much a good game from this point. I have shields, and I have a Mandibuzz and a Tropius with energy, so even if it comes down to a no-shield scenario, I just completely run away with this game. The good thing about Skarmory is that even though it's a flying type, it's also part steel, so it takes neutral damage from these rock slides. Yeah, unfortunately the opponent doesn't know what my third Pokemon is, and that's perfectly fine. In their mindset, they probably think that, the Tropius is low and the Skarmory is almost, fainted, so they still have a chance. But little do they know that I have a Mandibuzz in the back and I'm running triple flyer. So very unfortunate for them. I will say that Bastion is harder to deal with when it is in the back rather than the lead position, but since nobody really expects me to have triple flyer, as long as I see in the lead and I deal with it early, then the comp has so much potential to just run away with the game. This comp was designed specifically with grass hole users in mind. I don't have a problem with the team specifically, but I was just tired of seeing it. So I just decided to myself, let's play a team that will hard counter it. And when you think triple flyer, you must think that this guy must be crazy. If they have a Bastion, how is that a hard counter? But deal with the Bastion, and the back two Pokemon usually don't have much of a response. There are different variations of Grass Hole, like there's Deoxys, there's Machamp, etc. But most people nowadays, they run, double Razor Leafer, or, Sunny Cherrim. And even then, the game is extremely difficult for them. So Toxicroak, this isn't the greatest lead just because I have Razor Leaf on it. So what I normally do in this situation is I count to 8 counters and then I swap to my Skarmory trying to catch a Sludge Bomb. In this case specifically, they were relatively patient. They didn't throw their move, which is unfortunate, but I still say swap anyways. So this Marowak has Hex, which is a little worse for me. only because, you know, it generates energy so much more quickly, and it will win the CMP against Skarmory. So I'm just throwing my energy as fast as I can. And there's no point shielding, honestly, because they have so much energy, and I have a Mandibuzz to basically overfarm. So I know they have a Toxicroak in the back because they led with it, and the third Pokemon is a little bit of a mystery, so I'm playing it a bit conservatively. They have a Grass type, a Meganium in this case. The Meganium has no play whatsoever against this team, which is very unfortunate. So I catch the Frenzy Plant, and I'm saving the energy for the Toxicroak. A little bit of lag, but nothing too detrimental. They tried to swap and probably throw a Sludge Bomb, but they just managed to time it into my Air Release. And in this case, it's GG. So this should be the last match of the set, and I believe I lose in this case, so let's see how I misplayed or how the opponent outplayed me. So judging by this team specifically, it should be the tactical team with the Marowak in the back. So they come in with the Zoom Roll, which is pretty interesting. In this point of the game, I think my thought process was I'm a little surprised, but at the same time it does make sense. They don't want to pair their Zoom Roll with the Tropius, which does make sense. Oh, they have an Altaria. So, I believe when this game started, when I saw the Sableye, I kind of automatically assumed that they had a Marowak in the back, and that kind of worked against me in this scenario. It's not very often I see this team with Altaria, especially in the back, so it kind of affected the way I played out this game. And, you know, it's part of the, you know, having the foresight or, you know, predicting what they have in the back. Yes, you can predict or you can try to guess what they have in the back, but it doesn't always pay off in the end. And in this situation, it definitely didn't pay off because I just kind of assumed that they had a Marowak, but when I saw the Altaria, I was definitely caught off guard. So yeah, it was a two shield scenario, and the Altaria definitely beats the Mandibuzz. The Dragon Breath damage really does add up. Very close game. Even though I didn't predict the right Pokemon game in the end, it was very, very close. So, yeah, just one Razor Leaf off. That 1 HP. You know, 4 out of 5, definitely not bad. I'll take it. And I don't mind losing close games. It just means that I have room for improvement, and, you know, I can optimize my play in the future from learning from these games. So yeah, that's me just, checking my journal, keeping track of how many sets I have left in the day. So yeah, on to the next set. J-Mills, a very strong player. Galvantula. So I play this out I pretty much play this out the same way I always do. And unless I face the same player like consistently, then I may change the way I play. But yeah, I usually throw a Leaf Blade to either get the chip damage or to get the shield, and then I try to catch the next move with my Mandibuzz. Unfortunately, there was a bit of lag there. And I also misplayed as well by letting them get the third Volt Switch through when I threw my Leaf Blade. So this is what kind of threw me off in this match. So if Meganium is their best response to Mandibuzz, I was a little confused as to why they didn't shield the Galvantula, and it honestly worked out in my favor a lot because Galvantula does extremely well against my entire team. It does okay against Razor Leaf Tropius, but against my back two mons, yeah, it does really well. So just getting the chip damage here is extremely important. They don't know. So yeah, that was a little surprising. They must have expected a Brave Bird if they were shielding that, but in my case, I don't have Brave Bird. That being said, the opponent doesn't know that, so maybe they thought I would throw a Brave Bird and swap out to Tropius to, reset my stats. And yeah, it's pretty much over at this point. A Rock Slide wouldn't KO, so... And Meganium has no play against a Tropius. AJ. So a very solid lead for me. The matchup is definitely closer if the Tropius has Air Slash, but it's still in favor of the Tropius. But yeah, with Razor Leaf, the most the Zermil can do is get a shield, but that's pretty much it. So unfortunately, they got the 5th bubble through, so the ball's in their court deciding what they want to do. They decide not to shield, which is, really good for me, so then I don't have to commit a second shield. In order for this team to work efficiently, I really do need to preserve the Tropius just in case they have like a Stunfisk, a Zoomerl, Bastiodon in the back. Some more lag, but it's GBL. That's pretty much what's to be expected. So I had no intention of shielding the Skarmory after I threw the Sky Attack, only because I already threw my energy and I wasn't going to get to another charge move, so it was kind of no point And I did have the Mandibuzz in case the Mew stayed in. Unfortunately, Mandibuzz is similar to Skarmory. It has the normal typings, so it does take the neutral damage from the counters, and it was very fortunate that the Toxicroak threw their energy on my Tropius. Very close game. Very close game. I remember playing this live. I believe the Mew had enough energy for a move, or it was very close to it. So my thought process was, I need to call the bait and I need to preserve the shield for the Mew. And the Mew would win the CMP tie, so if it did have a move, then I would have to... I would lose the tie. O3 Kazuki. Swampert, extremely favorable lead for me. And they safe swap to Deoxys. So in this case, I do prefer to stay in and chip it down. I don't like swapping out right away to play the 2-shield game. So I chip down with Razor Leafs and I throw the Leaf Blade. And then the ball's in their court, whether they want to shield or not. So yeah, I shield just to keep the alignment with the Swampert, and they have a Bastiodon in the back, which is actually pretty surprising for this team comp, but it's also part of the reason why I have Flash Cannon. Yeah, Flash Cannon is primarily for Bastiodons, so all that energy didn't go to waste. I was able to take, you know, roughly 30% of the Bastiodon's health. And yeah, at this HP range, the Mandibuzz can take a Stone Edge, so I'm not too concerned. And it's most important that I get this energy off, so I'm not trying to be greedy with the overfarming. Yeah, and it's very fortunate that I got this foul play off. Very fortunate. I'm a little surprised that they didn't shield their Bastiodon, considering they knew what I had in the back. And they Hydro Cannoned it well. So either they were afraid that they were going to get farmed down, or they just didn't have Sludge Wave, which was, you know, very interesting. There's not many Swamperts that I know of that have Earthquake for Great Lead. Apollo ID. So Marowak, very bad lead. So when I play this out, I immediately safe swap to Skarmory. When I play the game, I don't swap to my hardest counter right away because I need to preserve it. Skarmory is also another unfavorable matchup for the Marowak, but yeah, like, it's my only other option. And if I swapped into Mandibuzz in this case, then I would have got hard counter with the Zoomo pick. It was really unfortunate that they got the defense debuff on the Shadow Bone, but... And the opponent got really greedy with the farming. They could have thrown an Ice Beam or even a player up to not expend a shield. So since I know they have a Marowak, there's not much point shielding the Tropius. And in this situation, it was a little confusing as to why they decided to stay in, but I kind of automatically assumed that if they're staying in, then they must be weak to Mandibuzz in the back, or, you know, a flying type or a dark type. And then when they shielded the Marowak, that's when I kind of assumed that they were definitely weak to it. So yeah, they had a Shift Tree in the back, which is very fortunate for me comp-wise, because the Shift Tree doesn't have much play against anything, except my Tropius, because it has Razor Leaf. But it was very fortunate that they had the Shift Tree in the back. And as you guys know, Mandibuzz is just a flying meat shield. It can take the Shadow Bone, it survives, and it still gets the foul play off, which is incredibly amazing for me. So this is pretty much what finishes the game. Ventusky, another extremely strong player. And I believe this is the last match of this set. So he leads with the Jirachi. Unfavorable lead for me, so my thought process is I want to charge up to as much energy as I can and try to catch a Doom Desire, but unfortunately he's a little patient. So he preserves the energy, which is really bad for me, and he swaps in Obstagoon, which is also unfavorable for me. So obviously this is a Night Slash, there's no reason to pretty much throw anything else. And very, very unfortunate that he was able to get the boost here. So what that means is, this Night Slash would KO and I don't get my second Sky Attack off. So I'm pretty much in I'm in a bit of a pickle right here. So yeah, this Night Slash is going to hurt a lot, but my thought process was they have a Jirachi, so there's really not much point shielding my Tropius. So he throws a Psychic, which was really interesting. I was curious as to why. Maybe I caught it, but it seemed kind of delayed, because he ended up using a Confusion. But, you know, it works out on his part because he was able to get the defense debuff. But since he's not swapping out, I just assumed that at this point, he's weak to Mandibuzz in the back because I gave up swap, so if he had a proper response for it, he would swap out as well to match me. And he's double shielding the Jirachi, so this pretty much telegraphs that whatever he has in the back is not ideal for Mandibuzz. And it was a Sableye, which is actually pretty interesting. Fortunately, I still have my Leap Blade energy stored on my Tropius, so I was able to switch out and, you know, chip down the Sableye. And fortunately for me, they're nowhere close to a return, so I get my foul play off, and then I have another one ready for the Jirachi. And yeah, really, well played on my part, if I do say so myself. Unfortunately for him, the Sableye didn't really have much play until... It didn't really have much play at all. but because he double shielded the Jirachi, I kind of telegraphed that, you know, he was weak to Mandibuzz, so my thought process was, you know, I just match him. There's really no reason not to, especially since my Tropius didn't have much play against the Jirachi, so Mandibuzz is pretty much my win condition. So yeah, that was the end of the stream and the gameplay at that point, and my overall record for the day, as you know, I'm, you know, sifting through my journal right now, it was an overall record of 23 and 2. So I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna say that this team was OP or, you know, everybody should be playing it because like it's a really godlike team, but it's a team that I found consistency with, and the sole purpose of the team was to, you know, pretty much counter grass wall users. And like I said, it may not make sense in theory because, you know, 3 flyers against the Bastiodon, that sounds, you know, like my team is hard countered, but the team is really one-dimensional. Get rid of the Bastiodon, and if they have 2 grass users in the back, it is pretty much GG for them. Like I said, there's also variations to grass wall line. Like, they can play like a fighter, they can play like an Azumarill or a Stunfisk, whatever. And, you know, I may be in a trickier position, but most people play it out relatively the same because, you know, they learn from the pioneer, which is Walward. He posted several videos on it, and they probably learned from watching them. And yeah, the team is pretty much one-dimensional, so there's not too many ways to play it out depending on what your team comp is or what the third Pokemon is. The core pretty much consists of Bastiodon and a Shadow Razor Leaper. In most cases, it's Shadow Victory Bell or, you know, Shadow Grottle because of its bulk. But I just find it extremely easy to play against with this team. And the blind aspect of JBL is that, you know, it's very uncommon for someone to play triple flyer, so like you see in the video, there's not many people that know how to deal with it because it's so uncommon. And I'm just using the surprise factor to my advantage. I just play it out the way I think I need to play it out, and I can try to dictate the pace of the match, or I just respond to how the opponent is playing. And that's pretty much all I can do. I just play my best, and that's pretty much all I can do. And if it doesn't work out in the end, then, you know, it doesn't work out. It's a learning experience. Obviously, this team has extremely flawed. There are many things that I don't want to see in the lead. When I get a really bad lead, then the opponent pretty much dictates the pace of the match, and I just have to kind of play my best, but I'm hoping on misplays on the opponent, or just like their third Pokemon in the team comp just being weak to one of my Pokemon. Like, I don't want to see Dripblim, I don't want to see Abomasnow, I don't want to see Marowak, and it also just depends on what I'm leading with. Sometimes I will, you know, switch it up just to, you know, catch my opponent off guard, because it's no secret that I'm still using this team. I've already made it publicly aware that I've been using this team ever since that I picked it up, and I'm still using it. Although this content or this gameplay is from a few days ago, I am still using the team, and I've hit veteran status with it. So on both my accounts right now, I'm over 2,500 points, and I'm going to continue to use it until I feel that I can no longer play it to a acceptable degree. But Great League is pretty much finishing up, so we're looking towards Ultra League. I'm very excited to see what people come up with in terms of their team comps. Unfortunately, since there's not many move changes in the pool, or there weren't any changes made this season, I'm expecting to see mostly the things that I saw last season. And that's perfectly fine, but I'm sure there'll be a few people that have level 50 XL mons, and that's what I'm most curious about. I want to see what people can, you know, think of with that extra boost to their team. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I know it's pretty rough, but like I said, it's my first video, so I know I probably made some mistakes on the way, or I can do something better to improve on the quality, but it's a work in progress, guys. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the Triple Flyer team, and I do have some more games where I played against a lot more Grassol players, so maybe I'll post the rest of it a bit later down the road. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, and about the team, about the video, and just comment below. If you have the time, throw me a like, and you can see my my plugins on the side. There's my Twitch, there's my Patreon, there's my Twitter. So if you want to support me, and if you know who I am, just give me a follow. That's pretty much it. Yeah, so that's the end of my first YouTube video. Honestly guys, like, my heart is racing. Like, it's not very often that I record myself and I feel like I'm just talking to myself, but it's a work in progress. So thank you guys for taking the time to check out my YouTube video. I do appreciate that. And let me know what you guys think about the team, about the video, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys say. So that's all for today, guys, but hopefully I will post my next video really soon, whether it be on some Great League content or some soon-to-be Ultra League content. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully my next video won't be too far away. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you next time.